Welcome to Sheepdog Nation Podcast, the only place on the internet where law enforcement and their families can come to be understood, supported, and stood up for. Here's your host, the always entertaining, down-to-earth, yet in-your-face truth speaker and Leo herself, Autumn Schmidt.
What is up, Sheepdog Nation? Welcome to another podcast episode of the Sheepdog Nation podcast with your host, me, Autumn Schmidt. As always, I'm very excited to have you here. If you're brand new to me, I'd like to welcome you. I'd like to introduce myself to you. I am a law enforcement officer who is now a life coach for other police officers. I focus on teaching cops how to become respected leaders from day one in their careers. The thing about law enforcement is you have got to earn respect. And the quicker you do that, and the quicker you figure out that you actually are a leader and not a follower, the better off you're going to be. So today's podcast episode is about being true to yourself. Yes, that's right. It is about staying true to yourself as an officer. And this comes from a lot of people reaching out to me, asking me for all of this advice, how to be a good, rookie, and how to be a good supervisor, and how to be a good husband, and how to be a good wife, and how to be all these things. And, as a police officer, we deal with so much shit, right? We've talked about it. You've heard me talk about it. We really do. We face what reality really is. We face it on a daily basis. And here's the thing. You've heard me talk about politics in law enforcement. You've heard me talk about people stabbing you in the back. You've heard me talk about, people trying to schmooze or whatever to get their way to the top, right? But the thing is here's what I have found in my personal experience from working with clients, from being on the outside. My husband is a state trooper, so I can be on the outside of his world, right? And looking in. And here's what I've discovered, okay? In this job, we lose ourselves so easily. The moment you become a police officer, that is it. That is fully who you identify with. And I don't know if the truth is because we, as sheepdogs, these people who become police officers, who become sheepdogs, I don't know if it's because, I don't know if we are broken inside to some extent. So we have these big voids. And so we are going into this job that is a service job, that is serving and protecting and putting others' needs first, because by doing that, we somehow fill a void that's inside of us. And I think what happens is, I know what happens is we just fully self-identify as quickly as we get the Superman uniform, the Batman uniform, right? I like Batman. He's my favorite. So I'm going to say Batman uniform. As soon as you get, that uniform, that's who you become. And everything else that you were and everything else that you've done and who you were up until like you put this uniform on, it no longer matters to you. What matters to you is being a police officer, whatever level you're at, whether you're in the feds, and whatever, whether you're, a state cop or you're a sheriff's deputy or, you're a city cop or whatever you do, it doesn't matter. It's just, it literally seems like it consumes people. It consumes us, it consumes you, and it changes you. Now, I'm going to be really honest. I've hung around with a lot of cops, okay? I've been doing this since I've been 20 years old. I've been around cops prior to that a lot. My uncle was a chief of police, and my karate instructor, who was a very big role model in my life, he has been in my life since I've been 5 years old. He was a police officer part-time, but nonetheless. And this is a little side note. I've been obviously in the martial arts, like I just said, since I've been 5, and I started teaching when I was 13 years old, like not on my own until I was like 15, but when I was 13, I was teaching, and I got to teach a lot of cops, their kids. And I got to teach some cops too, which was cool. But anyways, I've been around cops for a long time, right? And the thing about cops is that is like all cops identify as. And that's all cops want to talk about. That is all so many officers want to talk about on duty and off duty, in their personal life and in their professional life. Like they just want to talk about the job. When they're on duty, they're going to talk about all the people, right? We're going to talk about all the motherfuckers in the job who aren't doing it right, who's a fucking shit bag, who's a shit sandwich, or a soup sandwich, or, whatever, who can't friggin', walk and chew gum at the same time, whose boots looks like they got shined with a Hershey's bar, right? Like, yeah, you talk about that. And that's what you're talking about. And you're talking about how, so-and-so can't hack it. And you're talking about how so-and-so fucked the other one right up the ass. And, and how everything is bullshit. And, you pull up car to car and you start talking shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, absolutely. And then when you're, and then while you're on duty, you're going to talk about this call and that call. And like, you're going to strategize with your officers, and right. Like you absolutely should. And I'm just going to go on record and say, I'm not making anybody wrong. I'm just telling you, these are facts. And so you go and you pull up next to your buds and like you strategize, right? You're going to go do this. You're going to go hit this house. You're going to do a roadblock. You're just going to hammer traffic on the stretch. You're going to, whatever. Okay. And then you're going to, oh my God, I just pulled this person over, right? Or I just had to handle this call. Or, oh my God, did you see that crazy person? She's fucking nuts. She's still nuts. She's off her medication. She's back on fucking drugs, blah, 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 right? And then what happens? So we do our shift. We talk about it. At the end of shift, what do we all do? Hang around, shoot the shit, talk more about it, maybe go catch a drink, talk more about cop shit. And then you go home. What do? You got to unwind. Well, what do you do to unwind? You go and you talk more about cop shit. You talk more about the shit. You talk more about the job. Whatever. Talk about what this person said and that person said, and how you're all fired up, or how you're frustrated, or how you're sad, or you had to deal with this call, you had to deal with that call, blah, blah. Like you go through the stuff, right? And you're always talking about it. And the thing about it, Sheepdog Nation, is that you don't even realize you're always talking about it. And so if you're always talking about it, then you're always thinking about it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of facts from my self-help side. Okay. So if you've hung around me any amount of time, then you will know that I'm a really big Tony Robbins fan. Really big. Love that guy. He helped me 4 or 5 years ago change my life in my police cruiser. Hint, hint. And anyways, and he says that the human mind thinks about 70 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Or check that. We think 80 to 90,000 thoughts per day. Okay. 80 to 90,000 thoughts per day. That's what we think, human mind. But we repeat 60 to 70 of those every single day. So that literally means that you're only having between 10 and 20,000 new thoughts every day. That's it. So you're literally imprinting your mind every single day, because every single day you're having the exact same thoughts over and over and over again. And so if you are telling yourself you're no good, if you're telling yourself you hate this job, you hate your life, you hate this person, you hate the situation, you can't do this, oh my God, I'm so fat, I'm no good, like fuck this, like what am I doing? This is ruining my life. So-and-so is a bag of ass. Oh my God, what have I done? Like over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You're literally like imprinting your mind with this belief system, and you end up becoming like a hamster on a wheel. That's literally where your mind goes. And this is like where Dr. Gilmartin talks about in the emotional survival of law enforcement. This is like literally what he talks about is like, we go up hypervigilance, and then we go really low and we go down, right? And like our mind is just on this hamster wheel constantly. And what happens, okay, fam, what happens is we lose ourselves. We completely lose ourselves. Can you see? Can you take just take a step back for just a moment? And we're going to talk about this because I really need this to sink in with you. You have completely lost your self-identity. 100%. You've completely lost it. You have gone from whatever your first name is, I'll use me. You've gone from Autumn to Officer Autumn 24/7. And here's the thing about cops, okay? Everyone likes to bullshit everybody. Here's the thing about us, right? We need everybody to think that we're perfect, especially in this time where we have these Instagram cops making everybody else look like a bag of ass if you don't have a six-pack fucking abs, if, your makeup is not done if you're a female, and if fucking whatever, right? Like, you've got to look perfect. And here's what I'm going to just say. Like, I just want to talk about that. I'm going to hit on that for a moment. There is nothing wrong with being in shape. I'm not shitting on you. In fact, we have an interview rolling out later on this week with a very in shape cop, and she's a badass, and I respect her. But she's not sitting here saying, if you don't have a six pack, you know what I mean? Like, you need to be like me. She's not saying that. She's telling you, get into shape. Like, just get into shape. Like, you need to be in shape, right? And my message to you is this, as a police officer, like, you don't need to have a six pack. You don't need to be able to run marathons. Here's what you need to be able to do. You need to learn how to fight. You need to be able to hold your own at a fight. I want you to be able to run. I want you to be strong in case, you got to pick something up. I want you to be physically fit and in shape, whatever that means to you, but in shape. Okay. I don't know what you look like when you're in shape. My guess is, reasonably thin, right? Without your gut hanging over your duty belt. But my guess is like, not everybody has to have six packs. Like, not everybody has to be super skinny. And, not everybody has to look like the fucking Hulk either if you're a guy, right? Like, what it is to everybody is just so different. And like, I just believe that this culture has mind fucked everybody. Be in shape, but whatever that shape is to you, great, perfect. Like, more power to you. Go lift weights, be fucking heavy, run, do CrossFit, fucking train jujitsu, do boxing, do all sorts of shit so that when like shit hits the fan, like you can do all these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, do whatever you want to do, be in shape, but don't feel this pressure of that you've got to look a certain way because you're a cop. This is a job you do. This is a career you chose. It is not an identity. Okay. I mean, it kind of is. I get it. But don't lose your identity. You know what I'm saying? I just think that, we lose ourselves. And as cops, like, we got to be perfect, because the truth is this, okay? And this is the fucking reality, is we go into everybody else's lives and we fix their problems. Okay. We fix their problems. We go in to when it's really fucking shitty. We go in gross homes all the time. We go in to marriages that are now domestic violence cases, failed marriages, obviously. We go into a lot of problems and we are the problem solvers. I'm going to solve this problem for you. Here, I'm going to fix this for you. And so you kind of create this complex, especially if you come into this job at such a young age like I did. You create this complex in your mind that you can't be fucked up. You cannot be fucked up. Like, your relationships have got to be on point. Your body has got to be on point. Your house, wherever you live, wherever you spend your time, your hair, if you're a female, your makeup, everything has got to be on point. Your personality, how you talk, how you interact, like, you've got to be this person. And to some degree, like for professionalism, like standpoints, I do agree with that. Like you do need to not be a fucking soup sandwich. Like you do not need to be getting in domestic violence fucking situations. You know what I mean? You do not need to be fighting everybody, you whatever. But okay, so if we take away like the professional standpoint and we just come back down to earth to like basic like humans, right? You just need to be who you are. And the best advice I could give anybody, I got asked today, the best advice I could give any rookie, any police officer who has lost their way is to go back and figure out who you are. Once you know who you are, okay, know who you are, know what you love, know what you don't love, know what you're good at, know what kind of fucking shit you're going to put up with, and know what you're not going to put up with. Lay those boundaries. Know the kind of friend, know the kind of employee, the kind of coworker, the kind of officer. Know who you are. Know who you are in all of those circumstances. Know who you are off duty. Remember who you are in your heart and as a person. Remember. And that is going to get you further in this fucking job and this career than anybody or anything else could tell you. I'm telling you right now. There is something to say about a person who knows who they are, who is sure about themselves, and has the ability to lead other people in a positive direction right from the get-go. Now listen, don't take that out of context, okay? I'm no fucking dummy. I know that when people are rookies and they're on FTO and they have, they're doing their thing, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's just how it is. There's no senior cop, veteran cop. There's no cop other than rookies that are going to pay attention to you and want to follow you. I understand that. But if you come in and you're a rookie and you know exactly who you are and you know what you bring to the table and you're confident, not cocky, not arrogant, and when you get off FTO and you've proven yourself, my friend, I'm telling you right now, you have no idea the potential in your career. You have no idea the potential, even just personally that that you've placed on the table, that you've shown up and offered that, your police agency. To me, staying true to who you are from day one and inspiring others to do the same, that's a true leader. And let's all be real right now. We are an epidemic in law enforcement. We need real leaders. We have bullshit leaders. We have politicians. We have backstabbers. We have people with no fucking balls, no fucking backbone. We have a lot of issues in law enforcement with leadership. We have extremely educated patrol officers and extremely uneducated command staffs. And that's the bottom line. I worked at an agency for several years, and I was the second most educated person in the entire agency. And that was not behind the police chief. I was just a couple of months behind an officer. He was a detective and he left. He was too educated for that agency. Okay. The police chief, the deputy chief, all of them, none of them had the education that I have. Now, listen, I've said this once, but I'm going to say this again. I'm not saying that education trumps experience, because it doesn't. But here's what I will say. We have a new generation of cops coming out. It's no secret. You're probably working with some millennials yourself. Everybody can shit on millennials. That's no problem. We got big shoulders, right? We could take it. I don't know if I'm a millennial, by the way. I have to go figure out what that age bracket is and see when you were born to figure that out. But here's the deal. Law enforcement needs innovation. And that's the way it is. We need positive changes. We need innovation. We need to start doing things a different way. We've been doing the same things the same way for ever and ever and ever. And we got cops getting killed. We've got cops killing themselves. We've got corrupt admin. We do have corrupt cops. I'm not going to fucking tippy toe around that. I'm sure maybe some. I don't know. I will tell you, I'm the first person to back all cops. In fact, anytime I ever see a headline, I'm always like, oh, well, fucking That's just a headline, and there's more to that story. I actually get into fights with many people because I'll always back a cop. Doesn't matter until I find out they're corrupt, right? But anyways, what I'm getting at is it's time for change. It's time for, innovation in law enforcement, okay? But that comes from younger cops. That comes from even you veteran cops right now. Going back and figuring out who you are and what you bring to the table and determining what kind of person you're going to be, whether you're going to be a follower or whether you're going to be a leader. Look, we need real leaders that lead from the front, not from behind. We need leaders that aren't fucking leading from their desks, okay? We need leaders that aren't talking shit about every employee to every other employee. We need leaders who are not playing video games while their entire shift, while they're supposed to be supervising their officers. I act like I know, right? Yeah, because that was what one of my sergeants, actually one of the most respected sergeants among the patrolmen, that's what he used to do. And you want to know why he was so respected? Is because he stayed off everyone's back. Okay, if that tells you what kind of police department I worked for, it's fucking poison. Hostile work environment, awful. Turnover rate was 7 officers within 1 year. It's crazy. But you have to understand, for a police department that only employs 30 to 35 employees, that's a very high turnover rate. You can't compare that to like a Chicago PD or a Detroit, Michigan PD. You know what I mean? You can't compare that. It's a very small police department comparatively. So that's a really high turnover rate. Okay. And that's how that's how it operates. But we need real leaders. We need leaders who aren't just fucking, I've had supervisors literally letting dispatch tell them what to do. Now, don't take any offense if there's any dispatchers on here, but we need to get fucking real with that. Everyone needs to know what their place is. And I'm going to tell you something. As a police officer, here's how I feel about that. Yes, you are a dispatcher, and I'm going to tell you right now, I have a lot of respect for you because I could never do your job. However, do not get it twisted. You are not my boss. And I'm telling you right now, don't try to be. And these freaking dispatchers would go, and I don't know what kind of hold they ever held over the supervisors I used to work for, but man, these supervisors, no balls to these dispatchers, no balls. And you don't know how many times I'm like, all right, let's go meet out in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Let's just handle this because this is complete bullshit. Don't be that supervisor. And the only way you are not that supervisor who doesn't have a backbone, who just goes with the wind, who, just doesn't know what the hell's going on, who does not resurrect and bring any positive change, is if you don't know who you are, or if you do know who you are, but you just put who you are in the closet and you bypass that. Don't be that way. This is literally like a battle cry for law enforcement, for sheepdogs everywhere. We need change. It is, you are here listening to me because you know that law enforcement needs change. You know that I can say a lot of the things that you guys can't say because I'm not going to get jammed up the ass. All right. I work for a very small police department in a part-time capacity, and they're really chill about everything I say. Okay. You probably are not, and you could probably lose your job. Let me say what you can't, but here's the deal. I'm telling you it right now. We need change. I'm just asking every single one of you to stop losing sight of who you are before you became a cop, because it's those characteristics. Just don't forget. It's those characteristics about who you were before you became a cop that made that police department want you to be a part of their police force. Don't lose your personality. Don't lose who you are. Don't lose what makes you you. If you lose what makes you you, you're going to become miserable. Okay? Why do you think so many cops are just absolutely miserable? They're gone because they've lost themselves. They don't know who they are anymore. All they know is that they're a cop, they're a police officer, and they're doing the thing. And they're working overtime. And they're trying to keep their head above the water. That's all they know. Pay attention. Go look around right now in your police agency. Look at the veteran officers, or if you're a veteran officer, go take a look in the mirror And let's just get real fucking real with ourselves. Okay? That's the truth. You lost who you were. You've gone through multiple marriages because you lost who you are. You lost it. Because that person who you were before you put that uniform on, before you took that oath, that person never would have let that marriage, never would have let that person slip through the cracks. But guess what? You, that person on the inside of you, in your heart, you lost that. You let that person go because you were trying to fit in, because you were trying to survive the job, because you were trying to be liked. You were trying to do whatever you needed to do to get move right up in rank, right? You will not find success in that. Go take a look. Go take a look. Mark my words. Take a look at these people. You have supervisors who are completely miserable because they lost themselves. They fucking schmoozed and pulled some political bullshit to get where they are, and they lost themselves. I've seen it. I saw a sergeant who was a hell of a guy. He was a hell of a cop. Everyone loved him. Great guy. Not a problem. He was married. And all of a sudden he becomes a fucking sergeant, gets divorced, is with some other woman, goes out on that woman. He starts making awful decisions that ended up getting him fired from his agency. And all because he forgot who he was. He became a supervisor because he stabbed somebody else in the back and he said some things that he never should have or whatever. Okay. And he got to where he is. He got to there and became miserable. He couldn't deal with himself. And and here's what you need to know, sheepdogs. It's on a subconscious level that we do this. It's not conscious. It's a subconscious level. But here's the thing is I'm telling you and I'm teaching you right now how to stop this. Okay. Is that you stay true to who you are. Go back. Go look in the mirror. Take inventory. What are you not doing that you always used to do because you loved it? Where is your head? Where is your mind when you're daydreaming? What are you daydreaming about? Who are you not giving enough attention to? Who needs your attention? Think about it. It could be yourself. It could be your spouse. It could be your kids. It could be your group of friends. This is the shit that no one's talking about because the truth is, it's fucking cool to be a cop, right? You go on Instagram and you get to post, you're a sheepdog and you're a fucking Leo and you're a 5-0 and you're a popo and you get to, put your uniform on and take some pics and you get to, talk about how you're shredding and blah, blah, and you're a fucking beast and blah, blah, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to tell you right now, while that's going to grow you a big account on Instagram, congratulations, I'm going to tell you about their personal lives. 9 times out of 10, their personal lives are fucked because they've completely lost sight of who they are. Okay? Very few cops know who they are. And I'm telling you, I was losing that too. And you know what happened? 2 things. Tony Robbins, he happened. And then I got hurt. I got hurt on duty and I was forced to do something different. I had to reinvent myself. And here I am. That wasn't easy. You don't think it's not hard? Of course it's hard. I look around on social media all the time and I'm like, oh, look at all these cops, they're in great shape, 6-pack abs and, fucking rocking their uniforms and their, all this stuff. Like, of course it's hard, you guys. I got pulled off the road. That's all I ever knew. Hell, I was halfway done. I'm 3 weeks out from a master's that I was getting in criminal justice. I was still doing that, right? Like I was on the road getting this master's and blah, blah. And I get hurt, pulled off the road. And you know what? My back will never be the same. It doesn't matter. Went for a run today. My back's killing me, So it is what it is. I'm just saying I've been there. I've done it. And I had to figure out who I am again. And during those times that I've lost who I am miserable. I am one miserable SOB and nobody wants to be around me. My body shows it. I gain weight. That's what I do. You may lose it. And if you do, when you get stressed out, you're a lucky bitch. But I gain weight. The bags under my eyes get awful. I have no fire in my stomach. I have no twinkle in my eye. And I feel like I'm just living life. I'm like, I'm just simply here. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to leave you with this. That is not how you're meant to be here. You're not meant to just be here. I promise. You've got to do those things. You've got to go within yourself and you've got to find the fire within you, literally. Find it, pull it out, stoke your fire, and feed your fire with all of things that you love. Okay? There's no way around it. And when you do that, you're going to show up as this cop, as this sheepdog, and you are going to become somebody that everyone wants to be around and everyone wants to be like. And at first, it may be hard, maybe a little bit of a transition. You're going to intimidate people. So at first, people may not like it. But you keep doing what you're doing. You stay positive, stay on top of your stuff, stay in shape, stay training. And you will see that you will become a leader. And a leader is simply somebody who has influence over other people. And that will be you. And I'm telling you, there's no better feeling. Okay? If you guys are looking for any help with this, if you're like, this is awesome, Autumn, I want some more information, I want more training, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to host a 2-hour, 90-minute maybe workshop for law enforcement only. And it'll be virtually. You just get on, you just dial in. You can listen to me via phone. So it's completely private. Nobody's going to have to know your name. Nobody's going to know your screen name, nothing like that. We're going to be doing a training in depth. You can email me questions and I will answer them live for you. You can get on the phone with me, ask me a question live if you want to. This is going to be an opportunity. It is going to be $50 per ticket because I'm going to be offering a follow-up email. So you are going to be getting a little bit of, one-on-one time with me. So it's going to be $50 a ticket. It's going to be very well worth it. How to be a well-respected leader in law enforcement, and especially from day one in your career. So it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're a rookie, if you haven't even started, or if you're a veteran officer, get on this training because you will not learn this shit anywhere else. And my friends, it matters. All right. I really hope you took something away from this podcast episode. If you made it all the way to the end, as always, you're a motherfucking badass and I want to hear about it. I want to hear that you made it all the way to the end. So I want you to come over to my Instagram and comment. Either DM me and let me know, or what I want you to do is I want you to go on to my post, comment below and tell me what your biggest takeaway was. What I'm going to be doing is you're going to see, if you're not following me at The Lady Sheepdog on Instagram, you want to be. If you don't have Instagram, then email me, autumn@autumnclifford.com, and let me know that you want to save your seat. I'm only going to allow 20 people. I'm only going to open this workshop up to 20 people. So tops. And so you're going to want to reserve your seat. So just shoot me an email, send me a DM, hit me up on Facebook. I'm pretty accessible. I'm on all platforms. I'm even on Snapchat. You can snap me and say, hey, Autumn, I want in, but I need to know time and place, but I want in on that. We're going to be getting up and going within the next week. Okay. And I'll be scheduling that out probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. It'll be scheduled out. But again, I really hope that you learned something from this and took something away. And I hope that you can go and take inventory, go look in the mirror and take your true to yourself inventory today. All right. I will see you next time.
And that was another episode of Sheepdog Nation. If you enjoyed this podcast, please go to iTunes and let us know by giving us a rating. If you have questions that you want answered by Autumn in the podcast, submit it by going to the link in the show notes. As always, stay safe and watch your six.